Hello, everyone. I'm Pamela Brewer, welcoming you to this edition of M.E.S.H. M.E.S.H is the place where your mental, emotional, and social health is always on the agenda. And one of the things that you frequently hear me say is the value of not trying to read somebody's mind and not expecting somebody else to read your mind. And of course, I always say, what's the cure to that? The cure is asking questions. And so the first question that I'm going to ask of today's guest has to do with sort of a range of experiences she's had as a realtor. Leisa Hart, sales manager, award-winning sales manager with
Oh,
Long and Foster. You are out of which Long and Foster offices?
actually, I cover two, Chevy Chase Circle in Upper Northwest DC,
Okay.
and then Navy Yard in the southernmost part of DC.
So, question number one. This is a program about emotional health and well-being. Somebody is saying, why does she have a realtor on talking about real estate? That is not has nothing to do with my emotional or social well-being. But I'm gonna suggest that it actually has everything to do with how we open up our days, how we close our days. What is your thought? Is where you live important to one's emotional and social well-being?
Oh my gosh, definitely, definitely. Um, when you're choosing a home, you're choosing. I like to think of it as your sanctuary.
Okay.
When you're trying to find out, okay, where I'm going to live next, it's not just where I'm going to crash, where I'm going to have my stuff. It's where am I going to reinvigorate, refill my cup, and find a sense of peace.
One of the thing I did some research on you. I confess I went through the web and
Uh-oh.
I know, but it's okay. You're safe because what I consistently would see is people commenting on the fact that no matter the price point, that you were the expert, that you were a person and a place to go that where they could feel heard. And the reason that I wanna key in on price point is because so many times people believe that the more they spend on their home, the better their home is. And if they have limited income, they can't find a home that's gonna work for them. What's your thought about that? Is
No.
no.
Peace does not come with a price tag attached.
Okay.
So it comes with the feeling that you get. And you don't have to own your home in order to find a peaceful home. You know, sure, many people have lofty ideas about, oh my gosh, my forever home, it's going to be a palace, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And they're thinking in terms of perhaps size. I try with my consultations to kind of bring them back down to earth, if you will,
Okay.
and think about once they have figured out the price point that's within their budget and their general search criteria. Several of my clients, if any of them hear me, they'll recall me asking them to close their eyes and describe their perfect spot.
Oh, what a great activity.
And if they can do that, if they can really hone in, I cease to hear about the number of bedrooms and the number of bathrooms, and it isn't, but I'll start hearing about feelings and sounds and light. And then that gives me a basis for which, when we go and we start looking at properties, I can then ask, instead of, well, which one did you like more, one or two? I can say, well, how did this one make you feel?
Ah,
Can you connect to any of the things that you shared with me previously after having toured this particular home? And I find that you can always see when that light bulb goes off and they go, yeah, you're right. Or, yeah, you're right. So I try to get my clients to look at their next place
okay.
through a different lens.
Okay.
so that once they make that decision, they're making it with a full heart and they're making it feeling really good.
Now, there are certainly times when folks are looking for their new space, and
Mhm.
the finances of their new space, include an assist from a friend, a family member, whomever. And so they can very often get caught up in, "Well, I really think I want this place, but, mom said this, dad said that, my sister said this." Talk about that. What impact does that have?
Removing the clutter. And sometimes that clutter comes with the best of intentions, the absolute best of intentions. Well, my friend told me that when they bought their house, they were looking for this or they had this. Should I have that? Okay, this is your home. This is not your friend's home. With total respect, this is not your parents' home. This isn't the same time frame in which your parents bought their home. This is your home. And if you can get that across with heart and tact, oh my gosh, I just used my last name.
What a concept.
then, then I think it makes it easier to drown out the noise. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Okay.
So, I mean, and everybody has it.
Right.
Listen,
Absolutely.
I've had it. You know what I mean? And every once in a while, it may not have to do with purchasing a home, but just making decisions in general. It is natural for your closest friends, your confidants, your family to all want to weigh in. And for some, it's harder to say, no, 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 this is my decision because they mean well. But
Right.
if I can get them to refocus and kind of reframe, reposition, and remember that this is their space that they're buying. This is where they're going to build or continue their life. Then it makes it easier because you've given them permission to quiet the noise.
So, along the lines of noise, if somebody's looking for a place to live,
Hmm.
part of the noise can be, "Well, my realtor said this, and I really don't like that idea, but I don't wanna hurt my realtor's feelings." Uh,
Mm. Hmm.
Talk about, does that ever come up?
Um, I've heard that from others. I'd love to believe that none of my clients are thinking that necessarily about me. But I always ask them for their honest feedback.
Okay.
Here's the reality. I have a house, okay? And my clients are buying their home. My job is to listen to them, not impose my wishes or my thoughts on it because it's not about me. It's never about me. It is totally about them. So when I've heard others refer to maybe a past experience with a different realtor and
Sure.
say, well, my realtor said this, my realtor said that. I just, unfortunately, the only thing I can do is ask, well, what do you think? How do you feel? Because ultimately, this is your choice.
And sometimes that's a hard question for people to answer. What do I really want? How do I really feel? And again, what we're talking about is, yes, there's this physical structure in which we're going to live, but we're also talking about the powerful emotional connections, fears, expectations, hopes, and dreams that come along with this place that we want to move into.
Hmm.
If I find that well, let me rephrase that. What is reasonable for me to expect when I'm dealing with my realtor? How should I feel? Is there a way for me to feel during that interaction?
Okay, so
Should I ask my realtor to just tell me the answer and tell me what to do?
no,
No.
Well,
Then.
not tell you what to do. Okay, so it's my belief, my firm belief, that my job as a realtor is to help my clients obtain whatever the goal is. So right now we're talking about finding a new space. Okay,
Mhm.
so these are buyers or potential tenant, potential renters. My job is to explain the process, the path from start to finish,
Okay.
show my role through that path,
Okay.
okay? And first and foremost, remind them that my job is to provide you all of the information that you need so that you can make the decisions. I listen. So, buyers and renters alike both start out with what they perceive as their must haves
Mhm.
criteria.
Mhm.
Again, here's where we start going into number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, general layout, location usually is huge. I want to live here and I want this. Okay. So as long as here and this matches within your budget, it's relatively easy. But there's lots of here and this.
Gotcha.
So now we start digging deeper. Okay. And that's where you're buying again, it's not just a place. It's not just some place where you're going. It's hopefully you're thinking of it more than just a crash pad, but you're thinking of it as your, I don't know, your refueling station.
Good way.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's when you have to think about, okay, close your eyes. Tell me about this space, your dream space. Sky's the limit. And again, it may start with, oh, I walk in, I see this, I see that. Okay, so now we're getting into it. What do you see?
Right.
Okay. Now I may prompt them, what do you smell? What do you want to
Mm.
hear? Okay. A city dweller, there's nothing wrong with hearing traffic and the occasional siren if that's what you're accustomed to and that maybe has a meaningful connection for you.
Yeah.
I'm a city girl. I'm
Yeah.
from New York. Okay. Sounds like that don't bother me at all. Okay.
You may
I
not even
may
hear
not
them.
exactly. After a while, you don't hear them. But that's me. But then again, with my clients, it's not about me. So my job is to listen, not say, well, you don't want to hear sirens. You don't want to hear. No, it's not about me. My job is to listen. And if agents, and I think good agents do, if agents listen, then they then know how to best help their client with that goal of finding their next place. Apartment, condo, co-op, single family detached, farm, barn dominium, doesn't matter.
Did
Our
did you
job
just
is just
did you just say barn dominium?
I did.
Is that like a new thing? Did I miss
You know
something?
what? You know what? I heard that word tossed around a few times. I literally Googled it and then I went, ooh. So yes, it's a
It
real word and it's a
it's
real
it's a
description of a place that looks very much like a huge barn that could easily be used for multi-generational living. But that's good for another day and a whole nother conversation.
yeah, 'cause my goodness. Okay, I got another question. Just
Sure.
a brief one because our time is winding down.
Sure.
Um, I have hired you to represent me to find my place.
Hmm.
I want you to tell me what to do. What else am I paying you for if not for you to tell me what to do? What's the point if you're gonna make me think about all of this? I don't wanna think about it. I'm paying you. You think about it.
My job is to make it easy. My job is to make the process smooth. My job is to help you build your team And your team consists of not only your realtor, hopefully it's me, but your realtor, your lender if necessary, your financial planner if necessary, if you're not using conventional financing methods, your attorney that's going to make sure that the property that you're purchasing has no issues and there's a smooth transfer of ownership.
Mhm.
You're paying me to coordinate maybe getting insurance for your new home and maybe seeing if I can find some bundled discounts somewhere through the help of my insurance manager.
Okay.
Perhaps coordinating your moving,
Okay.
your unpacking.
Okay.
So there's lots of little things that we'll discuss at our very first meeting
Okay.
that my goal, if I do everything right, you don't even see these things happening. You're experiencing them, you're
Got
going through them, you're going, hey, I think I do remember Lisa and I talking about this. But when you get to the end and you're holding keys and a gift or two, you're just thinking about this was easy. This was nowhere near the stress that I thought it was going to be or the pain that I thought I was going to feel. And if I'm really, really good, I can inject some fun.
So you're talking about, again, we're talking about where somebody's gonna live, but you've just rattled
Mhm.
off, you've got your realtor, you've got your banker, your financial planner, your who knows what. So there are lots of different, it really is a team.
It's a team event and it's a
Okay.
process.
Okay.
It's not a sprint, it's not a race, but it is a process.
And much more emotional awareness, it sounds like, really needs to go into finding the place that's right for you.
Yes.
And before I ask you to give me information about you and how folks can be in touch with you, if I hire a realtor and somewhere down the road, it just really doesn't feel like a good fit, do I have an option? Am I
Uh,
stuck?
depend, Depending on your jurisdiction, I would say the first thing that you want to look at is any sort of listing service or buyer service agreement that you signed with that realtor and that brokerage.
Okay.
At bare minimum, you have an expiration date, so be wary of signing a long, protracted agreement. But communication is everything.
Okay.
You know, no one should ever feel like I am tied to someone who I'm just not vibing with,
Okay.
who's just not listening. Communication is everything. Do not be afraid of hurting your realtor's feelings. Do not be afraid of
Okay.
speaking up for yourself. You're finding your peace, and you need that
In more ways than one. And thank
in
you for
every
saying that.
way.
Thank you for saying that because I know, I mean, it's such a stressful, it can be such a stressful
It can
time.
be.
How does one get in touch with you if they choose to, or get more information about what we're discussing?
I am all over the internet, apparently. I'm
Absolutely.
You can find me on Instagram at that realtor Lisa. My first name is spelled Leisa, a little different. You can find me on the web at thatrealtorlisa.com. You can find me on Long and Foster's website. I not only service my clients in terms of sellers, buyers, renters, landlords, everybody, but I also manage a gaggle of agents and try to impart these same things with my agents.
A gaggle sounds like a lot, but I think that's another conversation for
That's
another day.
another conversation, along with barn dominium.
Well, there, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Leisa Hart, thank you so much. Sales manager, Long and Foster, Chevy Chase, and what's your other location?
Navy Yard.
Navy Yard. Thank you so much for joining us today on this edition of Mind Talk. And folks, thank you for joining us. I hope you've had a really interesting time listening to Lisa's observations. I hope you will share this conversation with someone you care about. And hopefully, I'll see you again next week. You take care.